What a lovely, wintry Sunday afternoon. The weather's cold outside. I'm inside with my nice hot drink, getting ready to relax and build some Spider-Man! Lego Spider-Man vs. Mysterio the Daily Bugle. Set number 76342 is the number of the set today we're building, and I'm blurry. And this is the set we're going to be building for today. It's a nice tall set, and the reason why I bought this Spider-Man set is because I bought all those Lego Spider-Men and women, and I think they needed a place to play, frankly, and I figured that this set would be a nice addition to the collection. So in this set we've got ourselves a Spider-Man, Venom Spider-Man, not Venom, Captain America, evil not Spider-Man, a big chunky not Spider-Man, Spider Lady, and the Bolding guy. Well, of course, we all know that these are the actual characters that you get inside the box. Oh, I just noticed that it's a 1-to-4 builder set, so I'm guessing that's where you get 4 individual people can actually build these at the same time, independently from each other. They all comes together. Nice little details of the building there. On the back of the box is what you see in the back of the building, and it's going to be one of these cases. I think this is a flat looking building, and I can't seem to focus. I think this is a flat looking building where I'm supposing that rather than being a big rectangle or a big square with all the details being inside, this is just in the background, a nice scenery for you to set up your diorama of Lego, whatever it might be. And this is also what you're seeing for all the main components of the building up here and the individual newsstand and lights. Get me pictures of Spider-Man! Well, I was more Green Goblin than J. Jonah Jameson, but whatever! With 781 pieces, I've got a feeling it's going to be a bit of a lengthy build. So 1 hour, maybe even 2 hours. I don't know, but let's see. Let's begin. Let's start the clock. Here we go. Okay, coming into the box, we have, let's see, whoops. Let's try that again, shall we? Stay. Right, so we have 1, 2, 3. So inside the box, we got 8 big bags, 1 small bag, and a paper booklet. Interesting, inside the paper booklet, I was a bit mistaken. It's 3 manuals, so small ones and a big one, and stickers to go alongside the entire set. Okay, everything's all sorted, everything's ready to go. Let's go with bag 1. Those sneaky so's and so's. It's not just bag 1, but it's bag 1 and this random bag, which contains the spider webbing that you need to build. But since we're here, why don't we just take a look at the characters as they are. Here's the Rhino, and I don't know, like, so at first I thought, oh, that's pretty cool, that's pretty neat. He's got himself a little helmet thing going on. I think that's the right route, right? Is that the correct way around? Is that correct? I just assumed it was the right way. Yeah, that'll do. Incidentally, he does have 2 heads, so there's this head right here, which is snarling, and there's this head where it's kind of unsure. But I'm going to go for the showing the teeth in this version. I'll put your head back on in a second. And here is Spider-Man himself. It's just Spider-Man. Looks good. Can't argue with that at all. Let's continue. Bag 1 complete, and this is what we get for our efforts. We get a Rhino and a mech suit, which generally looks pretty cool. Although this did actually take quite a lot of time. We could judge from the clock right here. We're in 22 minutes just to do the first bag, and this is what's taken a lot of the effort. Spider-Man is a piece of cake to put together, just like that. You also get a little spider, because he's a Spider-Man, I guess. The Rhino suit, I'll go into in more detail later on, but initially I was thinking, oh, that's pretty cool, but then it's like, oh, it's actually smaller than I was expecting and less articulate than expecting. But, you know, pretty good. We better race on and go on to, bag 2, which incidentally requires the second booklet, which is going to feature Ghost Spider. Bag 2 complete. and that was much quicker than the first bag. But let's explore. Let's take a look at this lovely little set here. It's a nice little diorama. We've got ourselves Gwen Stacy on a skateboard, and I don't know if skateboards are still relevant nowadays, but that looks looking, as the kids would say, pretty gnarly. I do like the use of that transparent bit of Lego just to give a bit of action shot for the skateboarding, sorry. And then there is the US mail, where you open up, there is a letter inside. And that was a traffic light that was just destroyed, but no worries, because we've got the news. We've got the Daily Bugle talking about symbiotes. Is anyone safe? And Crusher Hogan's wrestling comeback, which is some very nice little Easter eggs going on here. But yeah, this looks pretty nice. Nice little diorama, and it will be going nicely with the Daily Bugle building, which I imagine is coming next. Okay, we need to go on to bags 3 through 8, and let's go on to the next bag. This big bag, bag 3, bag 3 complete, and let's explore what we have. We have the base of the Daily Bugle, and we also have Miles Morales shooting his webbing. I was going to say that's a bit of an awkward angle for him, but he's a Spider-Man. He can do whatever a Spider-Man can. He can even do this. Ooh. Oh. So, the base of the building looks initially small, simple enough to put together, and this is the foundation of the tower itself. And looking at the details, it's inside we have a chair with a monitor and more newspaper clippings. Same newspapers, but it's fine. I'm not too concerned about that. That's the today's edition. So, with that being done, 52 minutes coming up to the clock. I can see why this is going to take about up to 2 hours. But let's move on to bag 4. Before we get started with bag 4, I wanted to take a look at this head of J. Jonah Jameson. It's a double head set, so it's either him talking angrily or webbing on his mouth. We've got to go with this face. That's bag 4 done, and just need to assemble these two things together. Here's Mr. Jameson, all webbed up. It's looking pretty cool. Yep. So, according to this, we just need to stick this bit on top of here, like that. Like this. You're gonna slot it into place like that, just like that. Are you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Nice. There we go. Just force that to close. And that's it. That's the next story part of the Daily Bugle. With a ladder go down like this. Look inside the details. We've got a pizza box, but inside there is a little camera. And I'm guessing this is either a safe or photocopier. Don't know. Nice little bit of detail there. And we're starting to build up the tower. Let's get straight to bag 5. Okay, it's time to build Mysterio. But I'm at a bit of a crossroad here. I don't really know which way head to go for. Skull face or the Mysterio mist, the cloudiness. And this is all to go alongside his bubble head type setting, but I don't know what to go for. I would say put your comments in the comment section down below, but I've decided, I think. You're welcome to put your comments down below which one you would pick, but I'm thinking this head. It's classic Mysterio with the smoke and mirrors, and it's the one I associate with. This is the sound I imagine his fart gun makes. I think it's fart gun because it's green. Anyway, there's Mysterio. He's looking like this. And one thing I do appreciate is the cape is solid plastic rather than flappy fabric. I don't think it would have done justice to Mysterio if it was fabric, but a good plastic cape is needed. And he's got his fart gun. What more do you need? Bag 5 complete, and it is not finished yet. So we have Mysterio here, and it's just the parts of the next floor of the building, which includes this nice little telescreen of Mysterio right there, looking nice. And there's no details inside, so I suspect the rest of the detail for this floor will be in bag 6. Almost finishing with bag 6, and we've got all these bitsy bits to put here, and now I need to put this on top of the building. But before we do that, let's take a quick look at some of the features of this part, which I have now noticed. So we've got this wiggly thing which does the background effect of Mysterio stuff, which is pretty cool. And now we get looking more of the details inside, which includes in fact, let me just turn on the light on this so we can actually see what's going on. Here we go. Well, I say that, so we got a big TV with Rhino Rampage, a clock, a safe full of money, which actually, can I open that up? Yeah, we got some $200 bills. We've also got a drumstick for sale monitor right here. So yeah, let's just stick this on. I'm gonna keep the flashlight on for poo-poos and giggles. Okay, we're just gonna squeeze this in here. And squeeze this in here. Go on, there you go, there you go. Here it is, the next stage of the Daily Bugle. And before I jump on to bag 7, I'm going to turn on the lights because it's starting to get a bit dark. Okay, that's a little bit better with the lighting, kind of. But it's not important because now the important thing is bag 7. Bag 7 complete. It's not really much of a part, but it is more detailed inside. Look at that. I'm thinking this is Jonah's office, Jonah Jameson's office, with his 2 gold medals and his coffee machine. And it wants me to stick it on top of all this, so let's just quickly put this into place like this. If I could just, there you go, that's more like it. Slot this in here, twist it around, slot this in here. That's it, here we go. Nice growing tall tower as we come to the final bag. It's bag 8. So here is in bag 8, it's Captain America, who's been venomized. That's what he looks like without his helmet. He's only got one face to choose from. And, hang on, dang it. Yep, venomized Captain America, and I think more specifically, this was part of the Venom comic series where, let's see if I remember this correctly, I think it's the Poison series, like when Venom goes into parallel universes and there is a universe where there's a kind of poisoning venom symbiote which causing different alternative versions of Venoms, and I don't know, it got a little bit confusing, and it's like this is not as interesting of a storyline, and it shows Venom as a hero, but you know, I like my Venom as a monster more than anything else. But regardless of what I thought of that storyline, this Let It Go minifig, pretty nice. And there we are. That is the final piece. That is the end of bag 8. I'm calling that done. Let's stop the clock. And here it is, the Daily Bugle Tower, complete from top to bottom. Although I just noticed something. I've got these 20 stickers, these ID 20 stickers, which look like webbing. I don't know where they go. I don't think there's anywhere in the instruction manual. I'll check it again, but they seem to be spares. But let's bring it all together. And here it is. Big old shot with all the Spider-Man in action. And ultimately, I like this. I think this is a pretty good set. I think this is perfect for its use, which is for a display piece, and everything is in action, in motion, so good looking good. It's a very simple build, and it kind of looks simple if we're being honest. The building is a very simple design. It's not like a more complicated building, which would be more of a square, which is a lot more detail. And it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be for this purpose, because your eyes are not focused on the design of the building. Your eye is designed for the action, the diorama, the fight scene between Spider-Gwen and the Rhino, the fight scene between all these different spider people. Your eyes are focused on J. Jonah Jameson being webbed up and tied up in front of his building, who is fighting for his life, who's petrified, but Spider-Man will come and save today despite being, quote, nemesis. I mean, they're not really. He's a good guy. He's a good guy, really, ultimately. But this is what you're buying the set for. It's to look at the scene where you can create your own story in your head. And despite the fact that you're not going to really see the details inside the building, it's nice that they've added the details inside the building, the furniture and the things inside the things. And I prefer this myself. I prefer the fact that it is a thin building with not too much detail on the inside. One of the things I didn't like about the Sanctum Sanctorum was it's all great detail. It looks amazing, but it's all on the inside. You're not going to be looking inside and seeing all the details. This is bare minimum. It gets the job done, and it still looks good. The build experience itself was pretty pleasant. 2 hours, just above 2 hours to build the whole thing together by myself. And there's nothing particularly tricky about the build at all. It's all pretty straightforward. Some of the bits do soak up all your time. The things that took the most time was, funnily enough, building the Rhino's mech outfit. And there was one particular bit of these layers which took a bit longer than expected. But the rest of it was fine, relatively quick, and you can put this together in a good amount of time to build your Lego sets and you build your Lego dioramas. I wanted to bring special attention to the Rhino mech suit because this is something which I'm a little bit disappointed in. It looks good, it looks really cool, but it's kind of small and it's kind of limited in its articulation. And I wanted to bring up an exhibit B, as it were, which is the Venom mech suit, which I got separately. And this feels bigger, it feels chunkier, and there is more levels of articulation with this in terms of the arms, in terms of the legs. Granted, these are solid angle joints, which the Rhino does have, but this feels better to me, probably because it's a bit larger and it feels better value for money, which I think in this case was £13 regular retail price. Actually, putting them side by side, they're not that dissimilar. They just I feel like this needed to be a little bit bigger and have a little bit more articulation to I don't know, just to make it a bit better. I think it does look really good. It just needs to be just a little bit bigger, just a little bit more articulate. Doesn't work as well as I thought it would. Overall, I like this set and I think it looks really great. And I think the building is very great for building stories and dioramas and all that kind of stuff. I think it's worth having in your collection. And especially if you don't like really complicated buildings, dense building with too much features, you just want to get straight into having this in your set and building a lovely scene with your minifigs. Despite my minor critiques here and there, I think it's a good set. But would I pay full price for it? At the time of this recording, the regular retail price for this set is £100, £99.99. And do I think it's worth that much money? No. I think it's a bit too expensive at that price. And the reason I say that is because of the detail of it. For £100, I was expecting something a little bit larger or a little bit more detailed. It's kind of hard to say because you do get all these minifigs as well, which greatly builds up your minifig collection. You do get a mech Rhino. I think if it was a bit cheaper, I think maybe £80 would be the top. Yeah, I think £80 would be the top level for me. And then if you can get it cheaper for like £70 or even £60, then you'd be laughing. And I think for that kind of price, you should definitely add it to your collection. Interesting thoughts. If you were trying to build your own giant mega city, your giant dioramas, where you want really detailed levels, I wouldn't suggest this, because your design is big, your design is detailed, your design is one of those designs which would probably take up a gigantic hall dinner, like we're talking like several meters long and wide, and that's real dedication. This is too simple of a design to go for that kind of scene building. But for everybody else who just wants it on their bookshelf in a corner, a nice little diorama, definitely worth buying it. But buy it for the right price. Don't go crazy for the full £100. Less of that, £80. I think that's a sweet spot.